Hi everyone, it's Beth, and today I'm making a welcome door hanger. I used buffalo check vinyl, leather, a welcome galvanized word, and a door hanger. All those were from Dollar Tree. A couple different types of ribbon, white chalk paint, and hot glue. First thing I did was remove the hanger and paint it with one coat of white chalk paint, and painted the galvanized word, and I did 2 coats on that, and then used my heating tool to dry them both. Once the sign was dry, I took my buffalo check vinyl and just cut a piece of that off that was a little bit bigger than the hanger, and then removed the backing, and I tried to make sure it was as straight as possible so the buffalo check wouldn't be crooked once it was hung up. So once I got it just about straight, I just started in sections and then removed the backing and just smoothed it out with my hands. And then just trimmed off the excess with scissors. And after it was all trimmed up, I just poked the holes where the hanger goes, and then took the leather, opened that up and lined it up, and kind of used the buffalo check lines as my guide, and hot glued the very top of that down, getting it as straight as possible. And then just flipped that leather over and then just kept hot gluing in sections until I had it completely covered. And then for the leather, I just trimmed that off with scissors as well. And then once that was on there, I just put a little bit of hot glue on the welcome word. And then placed that right down on the black leather. And then the next thing I did was just reattach the hanger. Next thing I'm doing is making a bow. So what I did was measured out 8 inches and then folded it over. And then from that fold, measured out another 8 inches, folded that again to meet in the middle. And then once you have it met in the middle, you have like a big loop. And you just take your ribbon and wrap it around itself. Just keep wrapping it around until I had about 4 loops on either end. So you wrap it around 4 times. And then I just trimmed off the excess, kind of at an angle. And then from there, I take my scissors and trying to get it as centered as possible, cut a triangle in the center there. Not too far in, just a little bit. So you'll have that little space, and then you do the same thing on the other side. And once you have both of your triangles cut out on either side, take a pipe cleaner and just pinch it in the center with the pipe cleaner and then twist it to tighten the pipe cleaner. And then for now, I just set that aside so then I can work on another one. And this one I did a little bit bigger. I measured out 9 inches and then folded. From that fold, measured out another 9 inches, met in the center, and then took the ribbon and wrapped it around itself. Again, doing it about 4 times. Cut out my triangles on the sides, and then took the pipe cleaner to attach them. And then once you have it, you open it up like this. And then I took my first one I made, and I just took that pipe cleaner that was attaching it, wrapped it around the second set I made, and just twisted it in the back so that connects the two of them together. And then once they were connected, I just opened up all of the ribbon, so it was nice and full. So once it was all opened up, it looked like that. And then I wanted to add some tails. So I took both of those same ribbons and just took a long piece and then kind of twisted it in the center so then you'll have the design on the same side. And from that twist on both of those, in the center of that twist I made, just attached it to the pipe cleaners in the back and twisted the pipe cleaners to attach those as well. And then I just trimmed off the excess pipe cleaners in the back and attached it with hot glue, just putting a decent amount on the back of the ribbon and the pipe cleaner. I'm just holding it there for a minute until it was dry. And then last thing I did was trimmed up the little tails to cut them above the black leather. And that is it for this project. It was really easy to do, and I think it looks so pretty. I used one of these garden stakes from Dollar Tree, one of Dollar Tree's wood round hangers, some tumbling blocks, buffalo check vinyl from Dollar Tree, some ribbons, raffia and twine, white and black chalk paint, burnt umber acrylic paint, and hot glue. I started by removing the hanger and just setting it aside because I'll be using it again, opening up the vinyl and tracing out the wood round and cutting it out. And then afterwards, I just placed it on there to make sure I had cut the right size, and then kind of lined up my vinyl, making sure that it would be straight once I put the hanger back on, and just started by the top section, removing the backing of the vinyl, pressing it down as I went, and smoothing it out. And then I just trimmed up any of the excess vinyl that was hanging over. And I tried to cut the stake off of the pumpkin, but it wasn't working that great for me, so I just bent it and it came right off. And then I removed the raffia from it, and it had a quite a bit of glue on there, so I just heated it up and wiped it off with a paper towel. And then I took the black chalk paint and painted just the bottom part, just the pumpkin, with the black chalk paint, and I did one coat. And then I took the white chalk paint and went right over the black, and I did this so I could sand down the white and the black would show through on all that texture on there. And I did 2 coats of the white chalk paint. And then once that was completely dry, I just sanded down the very front of the pumpkin to show all that texture on there. And then I took the burnt umber acrylic paint and painted the stem. I was originally just going to leave the leaves how they were, but it just looked too different than the stem, so I ended up painting those with the burnt umber as well. And then I made my messy bow, which was just taking each piece of the ribbon, pinching it into the center, holding it in my hand where I had pinched it, and crisscrossing all the different ribbons back and forth. And then once I had it nice and full, I took some twine and wrapped it around the center where I was holding it nice and tight, tied it in a knot, trimmed up any excess, and just fluffed out the bow. Next, I just poked the holes back where the hanger was and replaced the hanger. And then someone had given me this tip to add tumbling blocks to the tin signs that stick out a little bit, just so they can stick on there better. So I added a couple of tumbling blocks to the back of the pumpkin with hot glue, and then added the hot glue to those tumbling blocks and added it to the sign. And then the last thing I had to do was add my messy bow. So just added some hot glue to the back and placed it on the top of the hanger. And that is it. Super easy to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.